Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of What's Driving Token Prices. I'm your host, Katie Talati, Director of Research at Arca. For those joining us for the first time, I'm responsible for analyzing and identifying digital asset and blockchain opportunities for Arca's funds. As part of our research, my team and I examine token prices and the market events that act as catalysts for price change. Based on our research and market events over the past week, here's some notable token price moves and what we think drove these moves. As a reminder, this commentary is not intended to be investment advice, investment research, or an investment recommendation. Please consult your investment professional for your own circumstances. All right, guys. So it has been a fun week. We've had more ETF filings. The Fed backing off on some of their numbers as of late. And yeah, overall, the market has been super healthy. Bitcoin has traded above 30K for the first time in a very long time. And many people are wondering if it's time to come back for the market. Anyway, so I've got some more current events, though, going on for you today, which we'll touch on in a couple tokens for this week. So first up, we're going to talk about Audius. So Audius is a decentralized music streaming platform. They've been under a lot of pressure this week or the last few days following troubles at crypto custodian Prime Trust. So specifically, 88% of the digital assets owned by Prime Trust are said to be audio tokens. So just some background. Prime Trust is a custodian. They are, a trust company, but they have been very crypto friendly in their business operations. So for that reason, they have tons of fintechs as their a lot of fintech companies use them. A lot of crypto businesses use them, so they don't have to build out their own, in-house custodian for kind of every use case that they would want to have. And Prime Trust offers the custody. So rumors had started swirling the last few weeks that Prime Trust was in trouble. And then most recently, it has come to light that Prime Trust is indeed financially insecure. And so what's happened kind of is people are really speculating over what assets they own and what's going on with them. So Prime Trust claims they lost access. They said they lost access to private keys of certain wallets and therefore were unable to access some of their crypto assets. So again, it's unknown. It's kind of unknown why they have 88% of their assets are in Audius tokens, which, by the way, just to give you context, that represents 31% of the circulating supply and about $62 million. So that's, again, this is kind of bonkers, right? Like, how do they own such a large amount of this token? So a lot of people are online, they're decrying, they're either like short Audius or, long it because these assets are going to be locked up. A lot of people are really worried about what happens to this project. And so, it's kind of unknown what's going to happen. It's still kind of an unfolding situation in terms of like, whose assets are they? Do they belong to somebody individually? A lot of people are accusing Prime Trust of trying to trade their way out of their hole in their balance sheet. But time will tell. So with this, even though the rest of the market has been kind of like trading up or at least flat this week, Audius is actually down 6.9%. All right. Next we have Arbitra. Oh, wait, sorry. I screwed this up, guys. Next we have TUSD. So also on a related note to what has been going on with Prime Trust. Traders in the market have been shorting the stablecoin True USD in anticipation with issues with its reserves, which are held in custody at Prime Trust. So again, because Prime Trust was this custodian for so many people. So it's unclear right now. True USD claims that they've been audited, that they have independent people confirming their reserves. But a lot of people are kind of skeptical of that, which they are rightfully so. After the last year of, kind of things that have happened, it makes sense that people should be skeptical of kind of all the service providers in the space. And are they really, fully backed? So anyway, in this case, TUSD has a $3 billion market cap. And the stablecoin actually prides itself on safety and security. And on their website, you can even say they're the first USD stablecoin operated by a regulated operator. So very, very, very suspicious activity. The story, like I said, still unfolding, but Prime Trust is accused, among other things, of using customer assets to buy back crypto that it lost access to. Currently, the custodian owes over 85 million in fiat currency, but only has 2.9 million on their balance sheet. They also owe 69.5 million in digital assets, but only have sorry, they only have 60, yeah, they only have 68.65. So about a shortfall of $1 million there. So yeah, TUSD, it's actually down 70 bips for the week, which for a stable coin, you don't necessarily want to see. But if you see any depegging around there, you may have a better idea of what's happened. All right, guess what? Not Prime Trust related. Arbitrum we have up next. So Arbitrum is it's the layer 2 bridge, or the layer 2 protocol that I've talked about on Ethereum a lot. So yesterday, native cross-chain bridging for USDC went live on Arbitrum. So basically, Circle, they introduced earlier this year their cross-chain interoperability protocol called CCI, or CCIP for short. And it basically allows for direct bridging between different chains for USDC only. And so right now they've got support from Ethereum and Avalanche. So people can bridge between Avalanche, Ethereum, and Arbitrum back and forth, no problem. The big difference here, and like what I try to always tell people about kind of bridges, is that bridges currently, the way they work, they they use a mint and redeem function on a lot of them, and that can be really unsafe because what ends up happening is you're not truly minting like you're minting like wrapped versions or IOUs, but then your actual assets are being held in like a contract on the other chain that they're natively available on. And that becomes a problem because then if somebody hacks that native contract or hacks a protocol that holds those assets, like one of these bridges, then the IOUs become worthless because the native assets are gone. So this is a really great innovation. It just means that bridging might be a lot safer. It could improve liquidity. It'll improve composability, hopefully. The big drawback, though, is that it's Circle. Circle is a centralized entity. You know, if you want kind of these great things to happen, you're going to end up with having these assets that are just, you know, kind of controlled by a centralized entity. So the way their bridging function works, it could only work if it were centralized. Still really good news for Arbitrum. Like I said, I think good for the ecosystem overall. Arbitrum is down 20 bips on the week. All right, last up. I know. Don't we think we're like almost done with like dealing with FTX, and then it just like seems to pop back into our lives? Okay, so FTX's exchange token soared this last week on a new lawsuit launched by the now bankrupt firm. So the lawsuit was brought by FTX's creditors committee against a group called K5 Global. They're an investment group that accepted about $700 million from FTX's ex-CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried. So when he made the investment, SBF claimed the money was his. Obviously, in a lot of different situations, he did that. However, following last year's collapse, you know, we all knew that these assets were exchange owned and therefore, you know, belonged to creditors, not him. So part of this $700 million investment, the founder of K5 Global, the founders of K5 Global, there's two of them, they each received $125 million each for their services, which included things like introductions to celebrities, sports stars, and politicians, among others. So obviously that is just bad. But you know, I mean, who needs or who gets paid that kind of bill? But so basically the creditors are trying to claw back that money, rightly so, because you know, the money in this case, they think the money was not, you know, services were not given in good faith for the money given. So I guess we'll have to see how this unfolds. Again, these lawsuits take so long to play out in court. I'm sure it'll be all over the frontline news. But in the meantime, a lot of people seem to be hopeful. The market seems to be hopeful that, you know, this will be successful. And as a result, FTT token has traded up. It's up and just to let you guys know, it is up 54% on the week, supposedly over this news. All right. That's all I got for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed our insights. Tune in here again next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear what's driving token prices.